everybody. This is Doa. I'm here with Wolf, and this is GSL Code A round of 32. Thanks for joining us today. And I just said like 10 seconds ago, I'm excited about every match we have today, actually. Yeah. And it's not often that, well, actually it is pretty often I can say that, but today I can say it and I feel it in my heart, Wolf.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah.
Maka is playing today. He is back.
Yeah.
This guy is kind of crazy.
He is. He's actually one of the most interesting people I've met in real life coming to Korea here. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he does. I thought it was, for those of you who may not have caught the Code A broadcast, which I wanted to mention right away, we will have VODs for that. They're just taking a little bit longer to get up there because they were filmed at a location that was not the studio, so we don't have like quite the streamlined process that we usually do. Yep. But they will be up there. But in the interview I did with Maka, I'm like, hey, do you know about the strategy that people are calling the Maka racks? And he didn't know that people called that the Maka racks, hiding the second barracks in your natural. He thought the Maka racks was like the Zadok opening, where you just go 2 racks. You know?
Huh.
Yeah. So apparently Maka's definition of Maka racks is different than the rest of us, but whatever.
Well, too bad.
Too bad for Maka.
Too bad for him. I mean, he may be the guy who's named after it, but
yep, that's right.
He's not named after it. That'd be kind of silly. There's like a thing called a Maka Rex, and he changed his ID because he did it sometimes, but then he doesn't know why.
So in the next GSL, somebody else is named Maka, and I named myself after the Maka Rex. Yep. Sounds good. It's like another Zadok or something like that too.
Well, today I'm just really excited. We got a lot of awesome matches.
Absolutely.
And here is our bracket. We've got, of course, Star Tail, Fruit Dealer versus Mara. Those results happened yesterday. I'm just going to list off the winners. Fruit Dealer, Ganji, SC, and Teja advanced yesterday, as well as Dongre Gu and JYP. Now, of course, the top right, we've got Sase, Sniper, Check, and Naniwa. They'll be playing a little bit later, the top right of this bracket. And, of course, you can read off this one. I'll let you take it.
All right. I'll try to handle it here. Yesterday, we saw I'm Yoda take down FXO the Best, and we also saw Jakshi take down Lovesick. So that leaves for today, we have, let's see, Lenok versus Boxer coming up a little bit later. Oh, well, don't worry about it. Here are our matches for today. We've got, first off, Tassadar versus Fnatic Fenix. Our first foreign player playing in Code A this season. Is he going to make it through? He's been practicing hard. I hope he does. We'll have to find out. And then the next match, FXO Lenok versus Slayer's Boxer. That should be interesting. Boxer getting back into Code A. Lenok as well. MVP Dream versus Maka Prime. We talked a little bit about that already. And then rounding out the afternoon session for Code A, we have Marine King Prime versus the next Hack. So yeah, pretty much superstar players in every match today. Tassadar, of course, we can't forget, got to the finals of Code A last season. Didn't get into Code S. But he's back again. He has to face off against Fenix. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and Lenok versus Boxer, too. I like both of these guys so much. I mean, Lenok, I've been a fan of for a long time. He's just like, I'm just a fan of Lenok. Everybody knows that. And Boxer, I just have this huge admiration for because he worked hard and came back. You know?
Lenok's always been really good.
Yeah.
But Boxer was really good in StarCraft 1. And in StarCraft 2, let's be honest, he hasn't been as impressive as he was in StarCraft 1, but he's been improving so much.
Yeah, that's really where my respect for him comes from. I mean, because I didn't follow the Brood War scene quite as much as a lot of other people do, so I knew he was prominent in it, but I didn't have a lot of experience seeing his games and stuff like that. So seeing him in GSL so far, and he hasn't quite performed as well as a lot of people were expecting. I kind of thought, well, is he that great in StarCraft 2? But he's come back. He's shown us a lot of great new strategies. I think Lenok's got his hands full, but Lenok's one of those players that, I think he's a bit inconsistent right now. He has flashes of brilliance, but then he has other games where he's like, well, he could have played better. So it's tough to say.
Yeah, Lenok's really patient. That's the best thing I could say about Lenok, especially in ZVT. Lenok's the kind of guy who you don't want to 2-racks because he will just defend it perfectly. He'll pull his drones at the perfect moment.
Got great infestor play.
He does. Yep. He's just extremely patient and awesome. And here is NS Hosta Tassadar. He's the GSL July Code A runner-up, losing to Puzzle and an interesting PvP finals.
That was an interesting finals. I enjoyed watching it.
And I think this guy could go all the way again. He's a very strong player. One of the players who ladders more than anyone else in Korea. Is always near the top of the list.
Sounds like that In Cars song right now. I don't know. But anyway, Tassadar, very, very strong Protoss player. Can he make it to the finals? I mean, it'd be interesting to have one of the finalists from Code A next season knocked out by this guy right here, Fenix, coming all the way from Peru, playing for the team Fnatic, obviously. And I don't know, we'll have to see how he does. He's been practicing really hard. I know he's been practicing with a lot of good Protoss players in Korea. Practiced with Squirtle over the weekend. You saw him practicing with a few other players?
Yeah, he was practicing with RVM Mentalist a lot. Very, very strong player. RVM, a clan in Korea that a lot of people don't really know. It's got a lot of good players on it. None of them have really qualified for the GSL or anything like that, but they're top players like the clan PSW, which now became a team, and the team Pros. All those teams that really aren't known in the GSL but are pretty prominent teams like Rex. You guys remember the team Rex and Dark back in the open seasons?
Oh yeah.
They're actually they participate in a lot of clan wars and stuff like that over here. So there's a lot of teams that you guys just don't see, and hopefully they'll make their way into the team league next season, so you guys can start seeing them more and more.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. There's actually a lot of teams like you're talking about that we're going to start seeing come up in the next couple months. You know, the teams we've seen so far are definitely not the only teams in Korea. There's a lot of other players we haven't seen yet, so that'll be neat to see. But, you know, I think Fenix, he's ready to go. I mean, he seemed pretty confident when I talked to him earlier this morning. I know he is a little bit nervous, obviously, but, you know, he's had a couple days to adjust to the jet lag. He got here on what, like last Thursday or something? Last Friday?
Yeah, something like that.
So he's had some time. He's not dead tired or anything like that, so I think he'll be in good form to play. Have to see how he does. He definitely has a strong opponent in Tassadar, so it's not going to be easy for him at all. Let's take a look at the maps. It's going to be Tal'Darim Altar for our first set, then Metalopolis, and rounding things out with Xel'Naga Fortress. What do you think of that map pool?
Well, it's a very, you know, it's just a very balanced map pool. We've got Tal'Darim Altar, of course, a large map. Metalopolis, a standard map, common map, very well-designed map. And Xel'Naga Fortress, a little bit of a smaller map, but that's okay. Tassadar eliminated Antigua Shipyard here, probably because it's a newer map, and of course Fenix eliminating Dual Sight.
Now that's a little bit of an interesting choice there, because I've heard a lot of Terran players actually like Dual Sight.
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't ask him. I didn't talk to him personally about it, so I don't know.
We'll ask him later. We'll see what happens, but yeah, the game is about to get started. We're gonna get right into it. Fnatic Fenix versus NS Hoso Tassadar here at the GSL Code A with Doa and Wolf. And
are you ready?
I'm ready, dude. Are you ready?
All right. Well, it's starting now, so let's go.
Let's do it. I'm so ready. All right. Well, here we have our red Protoss player from the team NS Hoso, sponsored by an academy here in Seoul, spawning at the upper right part of GSL Tal'Darim Altar. He is known as the Protoss. Is he an executor? I think he is. I don't know. Either way, he is.
Well, he's a High Templar who talked to some Dark Templar. The Conclave got angry. They exiled him. They tried to execute him.
Wow. I'm playing through campaign now. I'll learn all this later. Here we have our Terran player all the way from Peru, South America. It is from the team Fnatic.
Fenix.
Well, the stuff I was telling you about Tassadar is actually in the Brood War campaign. Well, Vanilla Starcraft before that. But
well, was he the guy who like crashed the carrier into the? Was that someone else?
Yep.
That was him.
Yep.
All right. So cross positions on Tal'Darim Altar, and I'm really curious to see how Fenix plays this. We saw a lot of Terran players yesterday have some success being a lot more aggressive during the early and mid game that we've seen a lot lately.
Yeah. Well, it's just during the mid to late game is where you can see like SC's play, for example, yesterday, where he was doing a lot of dropship play. He always had drops around the map that he could use in any moment. When you're controlling the map, when you're controlling the game, it's really good to do that type of harass. And then the early to mid game, when you do like 2 barracks pressure, as long as you're safe about, as long as you don't overcommit, you can pressure that way.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, and we even see people doing that 2 barracks pressure even on long walk distances like this because, yeah, you just kind of poke in, see what they have, and if they have, you know, something you don't want to really run into, just move back.
Yeah, as long as you don't play too risky, you don't overcommit,
yeah,
everything is fine. So Fenix is going to be going for he's already taken his gas. I'm thinking we're going to see some sort of tech out of him. He might throw down a tech lab. I mean, I don't know, man. It's difficult to do Banshees on a map like this. The rush distance by air and ground is very far. Doing Banshees, it takes a while for the Banshee to get there. It's just not a common map to see Banshees. But he hasn't made a tech lab yet, and
I think we might see the I think we might see a Banshee. We're gonna see some sort of
there's a reactor going down.
Oh, all right. So possibly going to see that Marine Tank Banshee. I know it's your favorite strategy in TVP.
Well, it's possible. I don't think that's what we're going to see. It's not a common build on this map. Yeah. I mean, on this map, behind the natural, you can siege up tanks there and be very annoying.
That's true too, yeah.
So it's something that you could potentially see, but with the reactor first here, it's just going to be an expansion with the reactor. That's where the command center is going down there. And to be honest, even though Fenix actually sits right next to me at the Golem House, whenever he practices, I'm out casting or eating, and then when I come back, he's like done practicing, so I don't actually know what he's been practicing.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I actually haven't had time to watch him play a lot of games. Usually I try to, kind of sit behind him a little bit, see what they're doing. But Fenix is an enigma, Wolf. He's a mystery. We've spent more time eating with that guy than watching him play.
It's very true.
Yep.
And second barracks going down here for Fenix. Yep. The Stalker and Zealot are going to poke up here a little bit. And this wall may not be fully... It may not be a full wall, but it is just barely.
Yeah.
No, it's not actually.
It's a little bit dangerous, too, because the Stalker can certainly micro against 4 Marines pretty easily. So these bunkers, or these supply depots, rather, are at a little bit of risk.
Yeah, they're working against the Marines, essentially.
He's got enough now where he should be able to push them back, but yeah, it's a little bit risky before you get that first bunker up.
Well, he may actually attack here and try to target down the bunker. He's going to wait. His shields are recharging on the Stalker. If he had stopped the bunker from going up when that second Stalker got there, Fenix would have been in some trouble. But
yeah, I'm a little bit worried about Fenix right now. Oh, I'm a lot bit worried about Fenix right now. Never mind, it's a 4-gate coming out from Tassadar.
Well, it's not a traditional 4-gate. He did make a Nexus.
Oh, yeah, he did.
So, but it's going to be like a 2-base 4-gate pressure, which is not that uncommon. It's still a 4-gate. It's just it's like a high economy 4-gate.
Right.
If you want to like compare it to like a high economy Baneling bust, I mean that's basically what it is.
High economy 4-gate bust. All right.
And you don't even have to try to bust with it. It's just a very aggressive move that you do after getting the expansion up. It doesn't overcommit to units, so you can still tech up. This is what I do a lot, actually, on this particular map, because it allows you to expand while putting pressure on your opponent.
Makes sense.
So as you can see, Fenix doesn't know. Of course he doesn't. The Stalker was killed. And there are Marauders coming out now for Fenix, and he should be able to hold this pretty nicely. But Tassadar is going to realize this. He's just going to poke up at the front a little bit. And here he goes, running up the ramp with these Stalkers. There aren't enough Stalkers to really break this.
He is focusing
on
the bunker, though. Well, if
he doesn't repair the bunker on time.
Yep.
Oh,
and
he didn't
the bunker.
repair it.
Uh-oh.
Now with another warping of units, he could do a lot of damage. Nice control with those Stalkers, losing none of them there.
Yeah.
Warps in 4 Zealots, and Fenix is actually in a little bit of trouble here.
Some of the Stalkers are very low. Fenix with a nice Marine spread there, but he's going to need to micro like a genius to beat this. I think Fenix is in a lot of trouble right now,
Yes, he certainly is. The last Marauder will fall, and when that happens, Fenix may just end up losing game 1 here to basically a 2-base 4-gate.
Yep.
More Stalkers being warped in, and I think Fenix may be down for the count here in game 1.
Yeah, and this is the danger of just going Marines first. With that,
well, if he had repaired the bunker on time, he would have been absolutely fine. And he just was not able to do that. GG.
All right, well,
that move was just a poke, and it ended the game, man.
Yeah, well, that happens sometimes. Like you said, a little mistake is all it takes a lot of times in high-level Starcraft 2. And I mean, that's not the type of thing that's terribly typical. It's just one of those things you kind of kick yourself for after the game. But Tassadar gets a pretty easy win in game 1. And Fenix possibly a little bit shaken up. We'll have to see how he does on Metalopolis. Obviously the map that everyone's played a million games on.
Yeah. Tal'Darim, a map that more and more people are starting to play games on now.
Yeah.
When it wasn't on the ladder pool, I was like, why isn't this in the ladder pool? And Blizzard was like, I know, I'll put it in there. They grabbed it and put it in the little pool.
Yep. And now we're actually using that same version of the GSL, right? The third has rocks on it.
Yeah, we're using the ladder edition of the GSL.
Yeah,
we're using the ladder edition of the GSL map.
It's a little bit different. Before the GSL version didn't have rocks at the third.
Yeah.
And they actually just use the ladder version now with the rocks. Yep.
Well, also before, I think it's been so long since I played on that particular version. I think that map, the third it only had 1 gas and had like less minerals. Like
did
the
it
GSL
really?
Maps, I think. Someone will tweet us or something and tell us. It's been a while. I actually don't really remember.
I'm not a big fan of the map, so I don't play it a whole lot.
What?
I don't really like Tal'Darim Altar, but doesn't really matter.
You can't just be like, I don't like Tal'Darim Altar and be like, well, it doesn't matter. You gotta tell me, Doa.
It's just a feeling.
Tell me why,
it's
man.
Just a feeling
just
I have.
Just a feeling you have.
Just a feeling. I have no logical reason to dislike this map. It's a perfectly fine map. I'm just not a fan, Wolf.
He's just getting all emotional about it. He's like not thinking about this logically.
He's defensive about my map preferences, Wolf.
Like one time he tried to take a Zelnaga watchtower and it like wouldn't. He put his marine on it. The watchtower like didn't expand and go up. It just ignored him, and he was like, "I don't like this map."
Yep.
The Zelnaga watchtowers ignore me.
It's not that I don't like the map. It's that the map dislikes me. Did you hear that sound?
Yeah, I heard that sound. Oh, it's the next
there
map.
it is.
I was like, looking around on the screen. I'm like, what was that?
It's the sound of the map. The next map thing popping up.
It's a metal outpost sound, man.
Springs and gears in it. Hard to see because it's hidden behind the pretty graphics. Yep. Speaking of pretty graphics, what do you think of the new StarTale logo?
I'll be honest with you guys. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was actually a joke, but I think it's serious. I think it's real.
I think it's. I think they've got some sponsorship possibilities with Hardee's in the future. But
yeah, definitely.
And I don't know. It's. I'll have to see how it goes. I think it's nice. I think it's a nice logo.
All right, we're gonna jump into the game.
Yep.